Good afternoon. I'm Rochelle Hicks, Executive Director of the Mississippi Tourism Association. We're thrilled to have you here with us here in my hometown of Natchez. Tourism is big business in Natchez and in our state. I know I'm preaching to the choir here, but it can't be said enough. The impact that tourism industry has on our industry has on the bottom line of our state. So let me just tell you a few statistics. I know that some of you know these, but we cannot say them enough. We are the fourth largest private sector non-farm employer in our state. 117,685 direct and indirect jobs. $388.7 million to the state's general fund. 22.33 million total visitors last fiscal year. $6.17 billion spent by those visitors. We reached those impressive numbers last year with a budget that is significantly less than our fellow southeastern states. One of the main missions of the Mississippi Tourism Association is to increase the tourism marketing budget for Mississippi. We know that the more we invest in getting visitors to our state, the more potential that we have for growth. Take the last tourism ad effectiveness study that the Visit Mississippi did. The study showed that for every dollar we invest in tourism marketing our state, that we saw a $12.93 return on that investment. Impressive numbers, right? Right?
Yes. Oh, good afternoon. Thank you. Thank you so much. It's great to be here with you. Glad to be in Natchez. What a beautiful ride. We just came down the Natchez Trace. There's a little accident on I-55. I hope everyone's fine, but it diverted us to an area that I had not utilized and experienced in a while, the Natchez Trace. And so as we went to Clinton, Mississippi and began our travel along that trace, I realized just how beautiful it was and how I wish and I long on those days to have time and the opportunity to take that trip again, slowly perhaps with the First Lady. Or maybe the grandchildren. No, I'll leave the grandchildren at home right now. But we have so much here. Each place we look, each place I go across the United States and literally around the world, anyone who's ever been to Mississippi says about two or three things to me. One, they say, I didn't realize your state was so beautiful. Yes, it is. I don't know what they were thinking, but perhaps the national narrative has not been as kind as we'd like, but they do not realize that we have such beautiful land. And some are not certain that we have an ocean. Yes, we have an ocean. There's a beautiful Gulf there. Just last night I was in Abita Springs, Louisiana. Many there were talking about how they had land in and around Adams County and around Natchez and how beautiful it was. And then of course they recognize that we've got this big river. They think, sure, yeah, there's a big river out there, people around the world say, isn't it? And you go to Tokyo and you talk about Mississippi and they go, yes, the river. Yeah, we do have a river. But we also have, of course, music. I tell people at my export conference just the other day, the number one export that we've had for generations here in Mississippi is music. Just about anywhere you go in the world, you'll hear songs. Instruments are being played, voices that sound just so much like the Mississippi Delta because there's a love affair now with the blues or perhaps country music, and they don't realize that Jimmy Rogers began all of that, and for heaven's sakes, everyone wants to come and see where Elvis was born. And so it is these treasures, it is this place that we call Mississippi that attracts so many. I was thinking about what tourism really is. It's just time, place, people, and events. It is the time, not only do we have the travel, but what time of the year is it? Well, the great thing about Mississippi is you can come here almost any time. Visit New York in February and see how much you love that. Those poor folks, bless their heart. If you've never been in Times Square on a cold, snowy, rainy February, then you don't want to be. I don't care how many shows are going on, what the Broadway tour looks like, that's a difficult place to be. Here in Mississippi, it's always comfortable. The seasons are always available for us, the seasons of tourism. Now we're attracting people. 22 million people came to the state of Mississippi. Think about that. In a state of 3 million people, 22 million visitors just last year. This is a great opportunity for us to continue not only to brag about what we have in the tourist industry, but to continue to grow it. And we're going to do that. Some of you may notice that somebody's back. Craig Ray. Yeah, C. Ray's back. I would say tan, but let me just say rested and ready. And when I called him, I felt like a football coach, and I needed to go to that veteran quarterback that has won a couple of Super Bowls and has helped bring so much here to Mississippi, whether it's the Grammy Museum or so many other opportunities. I needed to go to that veteran that we could finish strong. We got a little over 3 years left, and I can tell you what, we're not going to slow down at all. There are too many great opportunities for us here. I want to thank the Mississippi Magazine. For so many years now, I have enjoyed this publication. I need to get one of those forms so I can fill it out, because we put this magazine out on the table when people from all over the world come to visit the governor's office. And if they have just a few moments to visit, I try as I best to put this in their hands to make sure that they're looking at it. I noticed that 35 amazing things in Mississippi. I can't wait to go through all of those. One of the first is the Old Capitol and State Historical Museum in Jackson, Mississippi. There's another one there that you might want to add, and it's called the Governor's Mansion. We have thousands of visitors each year that come through that mansion. Archives and History does a remarkable job with tours. Our docents are there each and every day just waiting. We have people from all over the world that literally come to our front door. And if they don't, and Deborah finds them on the street, she brings them in. First Lady will go find somebody and drag them through the gate. She loves to go out there, and people say, that's the governor's mansion. Do you know anyone in there? And she says, oh, yes, I do. Would you like to come in? She brings everyone that wants into the living quarters. That's a little interesting at times. I've asked her now to give me some warning. Make sure I can get things picked up before we have a tour come through. But whether it is the opportunity for people to come to the capital city and see that, come to Natchez, come to the Gulf Coast Delta, all of those regions. Starkville's doing an amazing job. Thank you, Starkville, for this basket. I'm going to carry that home, put it on her desk. It is the opportunity that we have to explore like a local, and we're going to show you what that means. And it's exactly what we want. If I'm a Mississippian and I'm thinking I'd like to get my family and maybe go somewhere, it's fall, there's a football game going on in Starkville, I'd like to see that. Why not spend 2 or 3 days there? If we can get them to expand that visit, that time and that location and that event, see all of that time, location, and events coming together there in Starkville, Mississippi. So why not spend your time there rather than, for heaven's sakes, going to some place like Alabama or Louisiana, when we got everything you need right here in Mississippi. And many people, I can assure you, I've been able to travel all over this state in about the last 20 years as a public servant. I made speeches in most every town, and I think every county. And I still see areas that amaze me. I still see events that I was unaware of. We'll be going to the Gulf Coast very soon for cruising the coast. In fact, I got up this morning and took my 55 Chevrolet in to get brakes. I'm really glad that it'll go fast, but stopping is just as important. But I love cruising the coast. It is one of the most remarkable collectible car shows in the United States. Antiques, hot rods, the Beach Boys. It just doesn't get any better than that. So I have been able to enjoy event after event and still find new ones each and every week almost that I was unaware of. We were talking about the mighty Mississippi Festival that'll be coming up, our dear friend Steve Azar. Now there's a guy that loves Mississippi. Google Steve Azar sometimes, and you'll see how many of his videos on YouTube are about Mississippi and are in the Mississippi Delta. This is a remarkable entertainer that has not forgotten where he came from, and he still lives here because he loves to entertain and to exhibit and enjoy like a local. So let's see what we've got. Thank you again for being at the Governor's Conference 2016, Travel and Tourism Employment. I love to brag about how many people are employed. 85,135 people, direct jobs, an increase of 1.1%. The number of people that are working in the travel and tourist industry went up. It continues to go up from 2014. You know, there are people that think we've reached a saturation level. They say, oh, you can't get more than 22 million people. We're just getting started. You know, the impossible in Mississippi is just the beginning. That's our beginning point. Look at the number of people that are working here in indirect jobs, 32,550. That's 32,000 people that live the American dream because of the industry that you are in just now. 117,685 total jobs, 10.5% of the statewide employees. Think about that. Over 10% statewide of the number of people who are employed in your industry. That's remarkable. And if we can continue to grow it by lodging indicators, we're doing that. Let's look at this is FY15 versus 2016. Just now, we're still in 2016, so we haven't got all the numbers together, but it's a 2.8% increase in hotel rooms sold. 2.8% increase. That's remarkable to me. You know, again, there are those that think you can't get more people to come and visit. We outpace the national demand. Outpace national demand. Did I say outpace the national demand? Which grew 2%. We are growing faster in our hotel rooms sold than the rest of the nation. Inventory grew by 1.9% to approximately 59,000 more hotel motel rooms. Why is that so important? You know, the event part of this. Trying to bring more meetings to the state of Mississippi. I have told our associations I will not make any more speeches in Alabama or Florida. I'm not going to go to the Mississippi, you fill in the blank association and speak to them in Alabama. Not going to go to these organizations that go to Florida to meet. Not going to do that. That is unnecessary, and I will not be there to support it. Room revenue grew by 5.6%. So yeah, hotels and motels are doing very well. It is one of the areas that I get the most calls about to come and open and break ground. And I started this a few years ago because it's part of the tourist travel industry. It's going and breaking ground and cutting ribbons on hotels and motels, and my goodness, it's keeping me busy. That's a good thing. Mississippi hotel average daily rate, its average daily rate grew by 2.7%. Now, its rate went from 81.24 to 83.6. I'm not sure that's probably good for me. I stay in hotels a lot, but it's great for the industry. It's great for the local community. It's great for the state of Mississippi. Travel and tourism expenditures, let's see what we've got here. Travel and tourist visitors expended $6.17 billion. Over $6 billion spent in this industry. Now, help me if I'm right now here. A billion is 1,000 million. 1,000 million. So $1,000 million was spent over 6 times. That is a lot of money is what that is. A 1.3% increase from 2014. The bicentennial in 2017, we are going to have a party in Mississippi, and it's going to last all year long. Bring your Tylenol with you. Strategic year-long celebration, the 200th birthday in 2017. 3 official Mississippi bicentennial concerts. You see that in Gulfport, April 2017 in Barksdale Pavilion. We're going to be in Oxford June 24th and Jackson December 24th. And there may be, C. Ray and I are trying to shoehorn another one in there, and it may be like around Natchez. We can just make that work. Yeah, this is Beautiful old city, and has been here for 300 years, so we think we can fit together a little of our bicentennial, tricentennial celebration, culminating in the opening of the Mississippi Civil Rights Museum and Museum of Mississippi History in Jackson, right? Katie? Right? I bet those contractors out there working right now will be tonight with the lights on. We got to get it done. Got to get them open. That's that event and place that people are going to come to and see and learn all about Mississippi. Explore like a local. You know, I love to go to locations. You got to find that right person that can tell you where everything's at. You know, if you get the right guy, and they might be at a restaurant, those are usually pretty good places. If you can't find the tourist folks to ask them, you can just ask a local, and they're going to tell you where to go and what to see, and maybe who to go and see. And you have no idea that that's there. The local folks know where the best food's at, where the entertainment's at. So if you look at our areas here in the Capital River, Coastal Delta, Hills, and the Piney Woods, we've got 5 regions we are going to promote like a local. Let's see if we can get that. 10-minute interviews accompanying itineraries and profiles. So we just got 10 today, but we went to communities and said, if you can get a film crew together and put you a promotional, we're going to put it on our website. We're going to start promoting this, and we want Mississippians to go and visit Mississippi. And of course, other people that can come from out of state and be a part of this too, but we want you to feel like you are there and you are local. So Cleveland, Indianola, Oxford, Water Valley, Jackson, Vicksburg, Choctaw, Starkville, Hattiesburg, and Ocean Springs so far, just to begin. Local insight into what Mississippi is unique. Let's see.
Put down your phone and come and experience this. I'm Gilbert Rose, Managing Director of Terra Wildlife. Terra is right in the middle of the Mississippi Delta, about 35 miles northwest of Vicksburg. It provides outdoor experience. This plant on my left is a pawpaw. It's a wide range of wildlife, bird life. Do you hear that woodpecker behind you? No, I'm very proud to live in Mississippi. As a lifestyle, you won't find too many other parts of the country. You've done a great job, buddy.
Hey Joe's is good burgers, good beer, and good music. We fill in that indie rock gap, and once people come here, they feel the sense of community and they become a part of it. Always tell the kitchen guys, cook it like you're cooking it for your mom, always. Hey Joe's, Mississippi is for everyone. We keep the party going throughout the year.
People on the Gulf Coast love to have a good time. You can't go very far without finding a friendly place to go have a drink or dance or live music. Yes, the creative spirit is what drives the growth here. There's more music, more art, like right in front of you, and we're always inviting people in, like come see what we have and come kind of be a part of our lifestyle. For me, I choose to live on the coast and work on the coast because I see the potential. It's a part of me, and I want to be a part of what makes it great.
I describe Mississippi as a world of its own. It's like the whole state is a small town. Doesn't matter where you go, you'll find some kind of thread or connection to someone else that you know. And I like that. I love Oxford. It pulls you in. There's this deep history. You get story ideas hanging out on the square. It's hard to be in a bad mood here in Oxford. It just is.
I think Starkville is a good destination for someone who's wanting to spend a relaxing weekend in a college town. Just downtown, there's several different places to shop and eat, and then there's really anything for anyone downtown. The connect between Mississippi State and Starkville as a community, I think, is really strong. I really feel like the growth in Starkville is going up from here with the amount of businesses and restaurants and stores that are making their way to Starkville.
All right, Starkville, thank you for hosting and showing us that beautiful opportunity that we have and go see that city. I'm going to get out of your way. I know you've got some awards to give. Congratulations on all of that, the award recipients. You have earned it. It is important to me that we continue to encourage tourism, not only by our involvement. I know members of the Mississippi Legislature are here. Becky Courier's here, I know. Willie Simpson came in. Senator Simpson is right there. From the Mississippi Delta, he and I have talked many times about promotion as we were at the Grammy Museum. But it is so important that each and every one of us contribute something, be a part of something. This weekend, I'll be on the Mississippi Gulf Coast. We'll be having a motorcycle ride. Now, I have 600 motorcycles for the hog ride that will be showing up from all over the South Mississippi, maybe the state. 2 weeks ago, I was at the Vietnam Veterans in Country Motorcycle National Meeting on the Gulf Coast. I've had more people come here to ride motorcycles. So it doesn't take a whole lot to get folks to decide to come to Mississippi. It takes an event, and it takes a location and a time, and we can get them here. I was in Oxford this past weekend. I don't want to talk about that. It was a wonderful weekend, and you saw on the video there just how important Oxford is, not only for the great university, but as tourists. And there was a guy there with me named Chip Gaines. Chip and Joanne, if y'all have heard about them, they have a little show called The Fixer Upper. And Chip had never been to an SEC ball game. Bless his heart, he's from Baylor. And so he brought him and about 7 of his buddies, and they came in, and they wanted to come to Ole Miss and see the Grove and see that ball game. I mean, they came all that way to see that event in that location. They took their time to come and do that. Now, as we walk through the Grove, I just want to tell you, and I'll be careful, but about every lady that's my age and younger recognized him. None of the students. Now, they're not watching the Fixer Upper, but folks like my wife, oh yeah, they went crazy. Pictures were taken, hugs, it was just pandemonium. Nobody wanted to see me. They just knocked me out of the way. There's Chip Gaines, get out of the way. But we had a lot of people who were there from all over the country. They were from that, that state next door. They brought that other football team with them. But that's okay, they were over here, and we were trying to encourage them to come back. And most of them said, that we had never been here before, we want to come back even when there's not a football game, because it's so beautiful, it's such a great opportunity. And I said, well, get a chance, make sure you run over to Starkville, and don't forget about going down to Natchez, and you come back and see that beautiful Gulf Coast. And if you really want to have a good time, go to the Delta, y'all. Yeah, every time we get an opportunity, we can encourage people from all over this great country to come and see this remarkable state of ours that we sometimes take for granted. So you are working hard to make sure that they get that opportunity. We're doing them a tremendous favor by encouraging them to come here and explore like a local and be part of the 22 million that will never forget they had a great opportunity to come to our beloved Mississippi. Thank you so much for what you do. God bless you. Thank you, C. Ray. It's about jobs. If you look at 80,000 people involved in the tourist travel industry, at least in the state of Mississippi, $1 billion industry, 22 million people came and visited the state of Mississippi last year. And so I'm going to thank them for what they're doing and encourage them to continue the hard work of bringing people to Mississippi. Now, once we get them here, we keep them and they return. But sometimes you have to really put forward the strongest and best effort to make sure that we get those 22 million people back here and spending time in our beautiful state.
What potential does tourism have for growth over the next several years?
It has a tremendous amount of growth. If you look, for example, in the Mississippi Delta, I was born in Sunflower County. I never realized, never dreamed that Mississippi Delta would be a tourist destination. And now we have thousands, hundreds of thousands of people from all over the world coming to the Mississippi Delta for the Blues Museum, for the Grammy Museum, for the B.B. King Museum, touring the whole area because of its music and the blues. And so I think you'll see other areas of the state. state. We're in Natchez today, one of the most beautiful towns in America. Port Gibson's not far away. We're hoping to drive more people to this area, particularly from the southeastern region.
Does tourism help rural Mississippi as well?
Sure. Of course, what you get is ambassadors that leave this state and go back. I just talked to a gentleman from Texas into the hallway that says this is his first time in Mississippi, didn't realize it was this beautiful and this inviting. He said he'll definitely come back, want to bring his wife. So what we get is people who leave here and go out and tell the real story about Mississippi's beauty, its hospitality, its entertainment, and so they bring more of their friends back.
Your reaction to everything that you've seen and heard here today?
Very exciting. If you notice, everyone here is very outgoing. They're very energetic. They're very excited about what the future holds for Mississippi and tourism. It is our time, and we are rising together as a tourist industry.
We are the Mississippi Tourism Association, and we lobby for additional funding for tourism in the state of Mississippi. We're a member-based organization, and we basically are here to advocate for tourism in the state. Tourism is a vital part of our state's economy. We're the fourth largest industry in the state. We brought over 22 million visitors in the 2015-16 year, so it's a huge part of the economy in the state of Mississippi. So for every dollar that the state legislature gives us, we can return that investment $12.93 return on that investment that they give us. Well, we hope that they go back and that they've learned a lot from the educational sessions, and that they can take what they've learned and go back to their community and put that into action in their local communities and go to their local leaders, and that they've learned a lot that they can take back to their communities.
If people have questions like more information about MTA, what should they do?
They can go to our website. They can go to the state's website, visit Mississippi.org, and then go to our website, mstourism.com.